When we look at life here on Earth, most of us tend to think of the good life as something we can build with money, relationships, and stability. A big house, a steady career, a partner who loves us, kids running around in the yard, maybe a dog, and if we're lucky, vacations at the lake, or even a boat to escape from the grind of daily life. To us, this picture often represents comfort, success, and safety. But if you were to take this exact picture of the good life and show it to beings in other reality systems, other dimensions, other worlds, or even other planes of consciousness, they would look at it as a kind of prison. They would see this existence, which we glorify, as an experience of limitation, heaviness, and even suffering. And the question we have to ask is, why? Why is Earth so uniquely difficult compared to other places where consciousness exists? Why is life here filled with so much weight, density, and emotional struggle? Part of the answer lies in the way Earth itself is structured. This reality system is considered one of the densest and most restrictive planes of existence. In many metaphysical teachings, Earth is described as a school. Not just any school, it's the advanced placement course, the hardest one you can sign up for. Here we live inside the boundaries of linear time, in physical bodies that age and decay, and with minds that forget our origin the moment we arrive. We don't come here remembering who we really are or where we come from. We don't come here with our divine nature blazing clearly before us. Instead, we're born into a body, small and helpless, and we have to struggle to survive, to learn, to make sense of a reality that never gives us all the answers. This forgetting, this veil, is one of the defining features of Earth life. Contrast this with many other reality systems where beings are said to communicate telepathically, sharing thoughts and experiences instantly and fully. Telepathy isn't just the exchange of words, it's the transmission of the entire meaning behind the thought. The emotion, the context, the backstory, the nuances are all delivered in a single sharing of consciousness. Imagine trying to explain a complicated feeling to someone here on Earth, and after 20 minutes of stumbling over words, they still don't get it. Now imagine instead being able to share the entire depth of that feeling in a single instant, with no chance of misunderstanding. That's how communication works in higher realms. It is fluid, complete, and direct. Here on Earth, however, we don't have that luxury. Our spoken languages are clumsy and limited. We use words as symbols, and those symbols are interpreted differently depending on who is listening. Miscommunication is everywhere. We argue, debate, and misunderstand one another constantly. And in many ways, that's by design. Because in this world, part of our growth comes through the struggle to express ourselves, to be understood, and to understand others. But to a being from a reality where telepathic exchange is natural, being forced to speak in symbols and be constantly misunderstood would feel like torture. It would be like going from a symphony of sound and entering a world where only a single broken instrument can play. The difficulty doesn't stop with communication. On Earth, emotions run deep and raw in a way that is unlike most other systems. From the moment we are born, we are exposed to experiences that shape us profoundly. As children, we might face separation from our parents, loneliness, or the loss of a beloved pet. As we grow older, we face heartbreak, rejection, betrayal, grief, and disappointment. Even those who outwardly seem to be living a perfect life carry within them emotional wounds, memories of loss, and silent struggles that no one else can fully see. Social media gives us polished images of the good life. But behind those images are human beings carrying burdens, sometimes silently, sometimes desperately. Now, in higher realms or other dimensions, emotions exist, but they are not experienced in the same heavy, drawn-out way. They move like currents, flowing freely and without the same attachment. Here on Earth, however, emotions are sticky. They linger. They cut deeply. They change the very chemistry of our bodies, altering the way we think, feel, and act for years to come. In other systems, the soul might learn through light, harmony, or direct awareness. Here, the soul learns through the fire of emotional experience. And while it feels brutal to us, this intensity is part of what makes Earth such a powerful training ground for consciousness. So when someone says, "I want to come to Earth to live the good life," it's a misunderstanding of what Earth is really about. You don't come here just to float along in comfort and luxury. If that was the goal, You would incarnate in a reality where joy, connection, and ease flow without resistance. Souls come to Earth because it's hard. They come here because this reality tests you, breaks you open, and stretches your consciousness in ways other systems cannot. To have wealth and possessions here is fine, but it is never enough to shield you from the lessons of loss, fear, heartbreak, and struggle. In fact, sometimes those material gains only make the inner void louder. That's why so many who have everything still feel empty, restless, or deeply unhappy. Think about it. On Earth, we are always walking a razor's edge between joy and suffering. The same love that makes life beautiful can also break our hearts. The same ambition that drives us to succeed can lead us into burnout and despair. The same body that allows us to experience touch and connection is also vulnerable to sickness and death. Earth is a place of contrast, where everything is sharpened and amplified. And this contrast is not a mistake, it is intentional. It is how the soul learns to grow in strength, compassion, resilience, and depth. It's tempting to think that maybe God made an error in creating such a difficult system. But when we look deeper, it becomes clear that there are no mistakes here. The divine does not create imperfection out of accident. Earth is not flawed, it is purposeful. This world was designed to offer the soul an experience unlike any other. Here we learn patience in the face of time, humility in the face of limitation, and love in the face of loss. These are lessons that cannot be learned in realms where everything flows effortlessly. Only here, in the density of Earth, do we gain the kind of strength that comes from struggle. Other beings in other systems might see us and wonder how we do it. They might see Earth as an arena, a crucible, where the bravest souls come to test themselves. And maybe that's exactly what we are. Volunteers in the hardest school of existence, choosing to step into forgetting so that we might rediscover our divine nature from scratch. And in doing so, we carve wisdom, depth, and empathy into the very fabric of our souls. So when you look around at life here, the stress, the pressure, the grief, the misunderstandings, the endless striving, it can feel overwhelming. But hidden inside all of it is a sacred purpose. The pain, the loss, the density, the contrast, these are not punishments, but opportunities. They are the very reasons we chose to come here, because only through them can we become more than we were before. This doesn't mean Earth is only suffering. Within the density, there are also moments of profound beauty, the smile of a child, the sound of laughter shared with a friend, the feeling of falling in love, even if that love doesn't last forever, the breathtaking sight of a sunrise, or the stillness of a star-filled night. These moments shine brighter because of the contrast. In other systems, joy may be constant, but here it is precious, fleeting, and therefore deeply meaningful. The beauty of Earth is heightened by its difficulty, just as the value of light is understood only because of darkness. In this way, Earth is not just the hardest reality, it is one of the most sacred. To be here is to take part in a grand design, where every hardship is also a lesson, and every struggle is also a doorway to growth. And if you can remember that, even in the darkest times, then you begin to see that nothing here is wasted. Not a tear, not a heartbreak, not a single challenge. All of it is part of the divine tapestry, woven with intention, so that you may emerge stronger, wiser, and more complete than you were before. So yes, Earth is dense. It is difficult. It is emotional. It is filled with misunderstandings and limitations. But it is also the place where the soul can learn what it cannot learn anywhere else. And if you are here, living through it all, then you are not a mistake. You are exactly where you chose to be, doing the work your soul came here to do. And in that, there is great honor, great courage, and great purpose. Thank you for watching. If you feel that this video made your day a little better, say thank you by subscribing and clicking the like button. I really appreciate you as a viewer. See you in the next video.